Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Wards Intelligence 6-Minute Webinar. I'm Glenn Sanders, Principal Analyst, and for the next few minutes, we will provide an update on the emerging robotaxi sector. Robotaxis are driverless cars and shuttles used for a ride-hailing service or public transport. Billions of dollars and intense competition are happening in this early market for autonomous vehicles. Will robotaxis create a new mobility paradigm? Let's find out. Most robotaxis being tested are retrofitted production vehicles. However, a number of companies are developing shuttles from the ground up. This sector is expected to begin to grow in 2022. With the trend toward mobility as a service, car ownership is becoming optional. Also, COVID-19 has enabled many people to work remotely, thus reducing the need for a personal car. Robotaxis fill the gap between private car ownership and public transport. They can decrease accidents with other vehicles and pedestrians and may reduce the number of personal vehicles over time, reducing costs, traffic, pollution, and the need for parking spaces in urban areas. Ford and Volkswagen invested in Argo AI to develop a full-stack robotaxi platform and service. Argo is testing self-driving Ford Fusion hybrids on public streets in 5 locations in the U.S. Ford and Argo have plans to deploy 1,000 robotaxis over the next 5 years on the Lyft network starting near the end of 2021. Walmart is gearing up robo-deliveries in Miami based on Argo technology, to be followed by Austin and D.C. in the future. Aurora has developed a full-stack, self-driving, ride-hailing platform. They bought Uber's autonomous technology group in January. Uber invested $400 million and is providing ride data to help Aurora plan their initial target markets. Toa provides Sienna minivans for testing, with plans to deploy robotaxis on the Uber network by the end of 2021. By 2024, Aurora plans to provide their platform to other third-party ride-sharing aggregators. Cruise is developing a platform for autonomous shuttles called Cruise Origin. GM has provided 300 Chevy Bolts for development and testing in San Francisco. Honda is also gearing up a mobility-as-a-service business that will use Cruise Origins in Japan. Pre-production of 100 Origins is scheduled to begin by the end of 2021. Waymo Mobility plans to run their own robotaxi service starting in Arlington and Grand Rapids. They're using Lexus cars and Polaris Gems for testing by offering free rides in Grand Rapids through the Waymo Mobility app. The service is managed by Via's autonomous fleet platform based on technology from Gentex. The Motional joint venture is developing a robotaxi service based on modified Hyundai Ioniq 5 cars and Aptiv's self-driving technology. They are currently testing robotaxis on the Lyft network in Las Vegas. Motional manages the system and expects to launch a full-scale robotaxi service on Lyft in 2023. Waymo started in Mountain View, California as Google's self-driving project. In 2015, they began providing rides in Austin, Texas, and are now operating in Phoenix and San Francisco. Rides in these areas are currently available through the Waymo One Trusted Tester program after a vetting process for riders. Waymo is delivering 3 platforms: Waymo Driver for personal self-driving vehicles, Waymo One for robotaxis, and Waymo Via for trucks. Civics is also developing an end-to-end robotaxi solution. They're currently testing in challenging cities, Las Vegas and San Francisco, with the idea that most other locations will be easier by comparison. Civics is targeting an interesting market. The robotaxis can cruise up to 75 miles an hour to provide a shuttle service connecting cities with airports. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Wards Intelligence 6-Minute Webinar. To make sure you don't miss future episodes, follow the link listed on this slide and in the description box below. And stay tuned to our Wards Intelligence website for weekly updates about this exciting sector and report due the fourth quarter of this year.